Welcome friends to another r/maliciouscompliance video. Our first story of the day is by J Crime. No, I'm checking your heart. I was a medic in Salt Lake for a few years. One rainy day, my partner and I got dispatched to a fairly upscale neighborhood on a call of chest pain. Chest pain means flashing lights and sirens. We quickly arrive in front of a pretty nice house and find a woman standing at the curb with 2 suitcases packed. Already a red flag. I shut down the siren, but kept the lights going for safety. We ask if she called 911, and she confirms. She steps into the ambulance, sits on the bench, and asks us to get going. I tell her we need to do a full workup before we leave, so we can provide care en route and take her to the right facility. She says she doesn't really have chest pain. She has a procedure scheduled at the hospital. And she wants me to turn off the flashing lights so her neighbors don't notice and ask her questions. Obviously, this is EMS abuse, and I tell her so. Suddenly, her chest pain is back. So I say I need to get vitals and start an ECG. She protests again, mentioning the start time for her appointment is in less than 30 minutes. And so I ask her point blank, do you need medical attention or do we need the police? I proceeded to do a full workup in front of her house, taking my sweet butt time, asking enough questions to make her eyes roll, and leaving the strobe lights on the whole time so the neighbors would see. And she was late to her appointment because we admitted her to the hospital through the ER instead of the front doors. Considering it was pretty blatant that this person was abusing EMS, do you think they should have just gone ahead at the first chance and got the police involved? Rather than let the lady flip-flop and go along with taking the full checkup and whatnot, wasting resources, wasting time when, in reality, they might have been able to be on a call somewhere else dealing with somebody that actually needed their services. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Our next story is by Smithy Knots. You've not ordered the offer anymore, so there's nothing we can do. Before the pandemic, my significant other and I were doing some shopping and decided to eat at a Harvester, a large chain here in the UK. It's reasonable food at the cheaper end of the scale, and okay when you're not looking for a posh dining experience or anything. There was a daytime soft drink salad bar buffet, main course, and dessert offer, on which came to 30 British pounds for 2 people. A bargain, which we ordered. The food turned out to be pretty good. We made more than one trip to the buffet, and suffice to say, by the time we'd finished our main courses, we didn't feel we needed the dessert, so I instead asked the server for the bill. The bill arrives and we've been charged an additional £9 for £39 in total. I query this with the server. The server says, that offer's only valid with desserts, and you said you didn't want desserts anymore. I say we intended to have the desserts, but we're too full for them now, so we don't want them. But I didn't expect we would be charged more. They say, well, you've not ordered the offer anymore, so there's nothing we can do. Cue the malicious compliance you can see coming by now. Well, then I'd like to order 2 desserts, please. You can bring them over, we won't eat them, and you can get the £9 knocked off the bill for us. At this point, the server looks at me with a bewildered look and says she'll get the manager. My other half, who is more of a shrinking violet in these situations, is looking a little uncomfortable. A few moments later, the manager comes over and asks why we don't want to pay. I explain that I do, but I don't expect to pay more for saving waste. But by all means, bring over the desserts and we'll leave them there on the table when we leave. Comprehending this, she agrees to just charge us for the meal deal. Don't you love the reality that OP and their significant other technically were trying to save the company money, but therefore they were trying to charge them extra for saving them that money? It basically amounted to a basic threat of, go ahead, waste your money if we can save money on our end. Very quickly became reasonable as to why they should just give them the £9 off. This next story is by Steve11. Just a small one, but thought someone might get a kick out of it. I'm about to go out for Mother's Day dinner with my family, and my dad was nagging my sister about changing what she was wearing. It was fine, he was just being annoying as usual. So I was chatting with her in her room, and she says she's changing into this, and shows me a cool shirt. It's a shirt that she knows my dad doesn't like. She walks out, and he's immediately complaining again. We both grin and she says, "You told me to change." I definitely think it's a little disappointing to hear stories of parents being overly restrictive about what their kids wear. Let me clarify that by saying it's one thing if it's legitimately inappropriate. But if it's like "oh, I don't like that shirt," or "oh, I don't like that style," it's like, why do you get to dictate someone else's fashion sense? I say let one's individuality show. Our next story is by Jupiter168. Shut my mouth? Fine. I'll sit back and watch you struggle. The school I currently work at went through an overhaul of assessment marking and submission policies. Important fact, all assessment making was done by hand because we were still stuck in the dinosaur age. So the head teacher holds a meeting stating that all marking is to be changed to an online system where we would have to type a separate comment for each criteria for all assessment tasks, rather than write an overall comment. You can imagine the uproar from all of the older teachers. They were super comfortable with writing, but can you imagine the two-finger typing method they were used to? Not to mention finding the letters. I had already saw this change coming, as all students went online due to COVID, and it was me who implemented this change for my department. I had a light bulb moment when all that happened, so in my own time, I reworked every single assessment by reducing the amount of criteria by half of what we had, so we would have less lines to mark. More work for me, but less work for everyone else. But meh, being a team player is always good, right? I raised my hand in the meeting to tell them what I had done for all of us. But me being the youngest teacher there, they told me to put my hand down, shut up, and sit in my spot while they moaned and groaned about the changes. Fine. So I sat there, waiting for my time to go home. Fast forward a week when an assessment with 6 lines is released to be marked. It may not seem much, but if I have 6 lines times around 50 words times 60 students, it all adds up. It took me about 5 days to completely finish all of the marking for my students in between all of the other teaching and social life activities I had. But not for the other teachers. All of them had to bring work home every night, and some were also coming in as early as 5 a.m. as they were falling behind so badly. Not to mention the teacher who accidentally forgot his wife's birthday as he sat at work marking, while she sat at the dinner table waiting for his butt, who never showed up until bedtime. The looks on their faces were priceless when I went home on time every day. Thank you, speech recognition. This lasted for about 3 weeks until all teachers finally finished their work. After all of the flames settled down, the head teacher calls me into her office and asks me how did I manage to complete my work so efficiently. So I pull out all my assessment reworks and place it on her table. I told her, "Remember how you told me to put my hand down, shut up and sit tight?" I was trying to lighten our workload and help everyone out. Then I look up at her whiteboard in her office, and she had written up a plan which stated exactly what I had done for assessment reworking in my spare time to help. So I turned around and said, "Told you so." Then I walked out. Now, I'm the leader of assessment design for my department at school, and everyone cannot thank me enough for giving back their free time every time an assessment comes around. I still haven't told anyone about speech recognition, but that's just my ace up my sleeve. If you've got a really good speech recognition software, I could imagine it could really come in handy with that kind of thing. Back in the medieval ages, I messed around with some speech recognition software just for fun, and while those were usable, they never seemed that great. But now in 2021, I imagine they're pretty darn good, or at least pretty solid, at least when using the more accessible software options. This next story is by the nice writer. You want the name of another shop? Okay, here you go. So I'm feeling sassy today, and I wanted to rant about an entitled Karen at work today. I sell flowers, and like most flower shops, we don't deliver on Sunday. Mother's Day was this Sunday, and it's our busiest time of the year, even more busy than Valentine's Day. Orders for Mother's Day start rolling in about 2 weeks in advance. So we have around 20 times more orders for today Saturday, then we do a regular day. Friday, we started running out of all the popular flowers. By this morning, same-day delivery, we can only take designer's choice deliveries. We are unable to guarantee particular flowers this late in the game. So I get this call from a Karen. She wants the order delivered 30 miles from our closest shop. She wants them delivered in 3 hours. She wants lilies and roses, premium expensive flowers. She wants a big bouquet in a premium vase, and she wants the order to be $50 total. Her delivery fee was $17 and the Holiday Express fee is $25. I tell her we're out of lilies and roses. She gets upset, saying that if she's paying a $25 delivery fee, we should go out and buy her roses. I inform her we can't do that. She keeps asking for premium expensive flowers. I keep telling her we can't do that. She calls me unreasonable. So she says, fine, I'll just go to a competitor. I, knowing that all of our competitors are in the exact same boat, simply nod. I give her the number of another shop. She's shocked. I ask her if there's anything else I can help her with. She says, I'm taking my money elsewhere. You've been useless and you should be ashamed for trying to rob me. I say, have a nice day, and hang up. What a choosing beggar Karen. I mean, this story's just like if you were trying to go to a toy store on Christmas Eve and get a Turbo Man doll. You just ain't going to find anything. Maybe if you do some shady backdoor stuff with a clan of Santa Clauses, you might be able to find something, but I doubt you'd really want to be doing any kind of black market flower dealing on Mother's Day. And our final story of the day is by Fu Jin Shei, Impractical Bonus Backfire. I just left a meeting with my company's higher-ups, and they are in full-blown panic mode. I'm finding it hard to not let out a giant, I told you so. My company operates on a quarterly schedule, 4 quarters, each lasting 3 months. March ended the first quarter, April starts the second quarter. We just got the numbers for April's performance. As part of the perks, we offer a quarterly bonus, but you qualify monthly by meeting metrics for the month. To clarify, you can earn a bonus each month, but it's awarded at the end of each quarter as a lump sum. The metrics you have to meet are for additional supplemental tasks in addition to our core function. So you do the extra work, you earn the extra pay. Simple concept. The thing is, these additional services are options that our clients contractually buy into. So if we don't provide these additional services at a certain percentage, we have to refund our clients, which can easily reach into the 7 figures. So back in February, our leadership team has a meeting to discuss how we're doing. We got the typical corporate, we need to increase X and do more Y. A part of this is them wanting to increase usage of our supplemental products. Never miss an opportunity to upsell nonsense. The suit's idea is to increase metrics for bonus, make the employees work harder. I argued that I know where my weak spots are, I can address them, and increase performance through direct interaction and coaching. Not that we were failing at the current goal, the suits just want more for less. They ended up shutting me down. They don't want to devote additional time to coaching and training. No coaching allowed, no nothing, hands off. Hold the employees accountable. If they want bonus, they will make it happen. Fine, you're the boss. Hands off. So I did just that. I stopped all communication, programs, and coaching regarding that specific metric. Any goals or communication about it comes direct from the suits. Everything else is business as usual. A few days later, an email goes out from the suits and the goal is increased 15%, which is a huge deal. Goal was previously 30%. They increased it to 45%. The thing is, meeting this goal was already a huge pain that interferes with our core function. It wasn't unrealistic, but you definitely have to earn it. The increase made it borderline unrealistic. If only someone would have said something. To make it even better, the bonus includes roughly 10 other metrics that are mostly afterthoughts. If you miss one metric, you are ineligible. Guess what happens? The frontline employees are overwhelmingly demotivated. I get the numbers back for April, Not only did that one metric bottom out, so did every other metric tied into the bonus. Almost nothing was done the entire month other than our core function. I can't blame them. Why bust my back and put in the effort for no reason? The suits are furious because they know who is to blame, and they have 2 more months of this. They can't just haphazardly change the goalpost in the middle of the quarter. The damage has already been done. They might have saved a few hour labors and a few dollars on bonus payouts, but at the end of the quarter, they are estimating the payout to our clients to be over $3 million a month for failing to provide contracted services. Something completely preventable. All this really boils down to is you can't be so ridiculously greedy. There's definitely a fine line where it goes from influencing workers to do a little extra to trying to outright pull one over on them, expecting incredible amounts of effort for not enough payout, or just such a unrealistically huge goalpost that nobody's going to take the effort because why try that hard? At the end of the day, it's gotta be worth it to actually inspire these people to go above and beyond and even more so. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you do, whether it's just viewing the video, liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, I appreciate the heck out of it. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, and I can't thank you enough for it. So, until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll be right here next time on the Storytime channel.